about electronic music is the way that each generation of electronic music brings with it a working process. One of the reasons I like to go through all the different histories of electronic music, for example, with the late 60s through to the mid-late 70s, it was all done by hand. So I always try and play something in a song that's by hand. A thing they used to do that they don't do anymore is the clap track, where you'd finish the recording and you get two mics, one point that way, one facing that way, and you take a whole bunch of drugs and a whole bunch of alcohol and bring all your friends over and you go, woo, yeah, ow, come on now. And everybody would clap all through the tracks, the whole album. So it sounds like behind it, there's a party. And if your track is fucking boring and you want to figure out how to make it just go pop, put on a clap track. It's amazing. It works. Like, all you do is you get a bunch of people and you clap. And in the choruses, you holler a bit. Ow! Yeah! It's every single disco track's got a clap track in it.
No, I'm thinking about it, and you're right that every single one does. That's insane.
I had the pleasure of just working with my dear friend Brian from the Gothsicles, and we did a track called This Club Is Closed. And it was kind of getting there. It was getting there, and I went there with Miss Ballistic. We sort of laid all this shit down, and then Brian's going, it's not there. And I went, dude, let's do a clap track. And he goes, is that a venereal disease? And it's like, no, man. So we all sat around in his apartment on these crappy mics, and it sounded great. Use a crappy mic for a clap track too. I don't know why it works best, and then we threw it at some of the wonderful people who were helping mix his album. Quite an all-star cast is this album. It's great. And they just went, what's this clap track? And it's like, dude, back in the 70s, da-da-da. So they did it, and it's awesome. So I'm putting the clap tracks back into industrial music. That's what I'm going to do. Or another thing is get a jar of rice and use it as a shaker. Mm-hmm. Works miracles. It's so good. Even if you go out of time, don't give a shit. Just fucking do it. So that was that period, playing a bass line with your hand. And that's why I love fucking my Moog. I love it. It's about playing. It's playing this motherfucker. Like, I got it for my birthday. I've been wanting a Moog for like 25 years, so I finally got a fucking Moog. I had it for a month and I didn't even MIDI the thing up. I was just playing it like a bitch. It was so much fun. And then I'd MIDI it up to the dope file, and I was playing all of the modulars. And I've never played a module. I played it. Mm-hmm. It's crazy fun. It was so much fun. That's how they did it in the 70s. Then they came along with a drum machine. So I'll use the MAQ or the 155 and get some really cool drum sequences going. Like I'll use the old Tomer, which is a kick and snare thing. And you have to go through and painstakingly fuck around and do your thing. And so that's that method of making music. Then, there's all the MIDI stuff as well. And I am crazy about, I love getting back into MIDI programming with turning hard sync on, turning it off, turning it on, changing an oscillator, turning it off again, and sending control changes everywhere. That's what I love about the Moog. Every single thing about it is MIDI control, and it's lightning fast. It's great. Then there's samplers. And the cool thing I love about samplers, that a lot of people these days, when you talk to them about a sampler, they just don't get. There is something wonderful about going out there with a microphone, sampling it. Okay, I do cheat. I cut it up in SoundForge, then I fuck around with eMuser, the interface between Emacs and your computer. Then I sit over me little bloody screen with me little keys and fuck it up. The thing about doing that is when you craft the sound, like that's something that's lacking now is the joy of, hey, I watched the movie and I sampled it, as opposed to I just went online and web searched Full Metal Jacket. Or whatever. You get in there, you find some really strange movie and you sample it, or you stand next to a train line with your camera or your phone and you record it. The joy of actually getting it, then cleaning the sound up and putting it in there and placing it in there. There's something about the craft of it. When you do it, you can almost smell the fine wood. Yeah. And that's why I got the Emulator 3, because I fucking love EMU systems. I love EMU. I love the sound of it. I've got a K2000 in Australia. I love the Kurzweil. I miss my Kurzweil. I love what you could fucking do on that bitch. The EMU stuff, it's down the line, big sounding stuff. There's something about the Emacs, you put something in it and you use the filters and it sounds great. This is an E3X, not an E3, so they're digital. They've got big, bold sounds to them. There's something about the Emulator 3 when you put something in it and it spits out, it sounds gigantic. And I don't know what it is. Like, the thing's like fucking 20-something years old now, and it's just huge. And that's what I mean about all the histories about music. I don't like soft synths, but I fucked around with them a bit. Look, okay, shit, man, I don't like soft synths, but they're really easy, and that's great, and I really appreciate that. The amount of people who own viruses, and I want to punch them in the face so hard, because viruses are great synthesizers. They're great, but no one programs them, and it pisses me off.
Yeah.
The shit you can do on that machine is insane. I don't own a virus. I fucked around with them, and it's like you can program that thing to fucking flip on a dime and go in different directions and really go crazy. People don't use it.
Well, that's the thing that I find that's the most frustrating thing out there right now is there's tons of electronic musicians out there who just go and they'll use a preset.
Yeah.
It's good enough for them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you bought a synthesizer, it can do pretty much any sound you can think of to a certain extent with each one.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh, that sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going with that.